Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Playful Life. I am your host, Crystal, the Playful Trainer. Move that. And today I'm with Ron Harlow.
Hi, Crystal.
I don't know if you've seen my Facebook post, but I sort of feel like this is a Karate Kid moment. Where, like,
That's nice of you to say.
the student becomes the teacher or something. I mean, not that I'm going to teach you anything here.
Oh,
But
you do every day. You do every day. That's what we do here, right? I mean, you provide vital information that we need to know. Again, in a playful way and a fun way, which again, it really has sparked our, your and our relationship, I
yeah,
think, and our ability to help the community at large. And that's, I mean, the region's our home.
absolutely.
Why not try to make it a little bit better? Get your watch party going. We got some
Yeah, we're gonna
juices
get
today.
that going.
As you know, I've been juicing, so this is an opportune time. I think that had a lot to do with me making the list of guests today. Is the idea that I'm applying some of the stuff that Crystal has taught me over the last couple years, and it's paying off a bit. This is a one size smaller shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a 2X instead of a 3X. And I have the pounds are going off. I don't know. I haven't done any measuring really.
Yeah, you should definitely
I'm
do
gonna
some
do
measuring.
some.
We'll talk about that. Non-scale victories.
Right? Because they say what are pounds before inches, or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
And as I gain muscle back from doing the extra workout, some of that stuff's going to offset. I think.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep, it will. So, you can actually go some places and get like a body fat measuring of yourself. So we're doing this thing at Class UFC where I coach. We're in Munster, and we have this thing called Fit University going on. Class UFC, woo woo. They just gave me a sponsorship for the pageant, so we're excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah, they're supportive of what we do here. But yeah, the challenge is how much body fat you lose percentage wise. So you're kind of competing against yourself, and you're seeing how much of your weight in fat you're losing. So, obviously when you're working out, you're going to be gaining muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. So it's important to recognize.
It's more attractive too. It's just a little more attractive. I'm
It
trying
is.
to
Remember, like, as
wear
a
some
kid,
things that are more attractive.
you ever have those things as a kid, like in health class, they had like the muscle that you could hold. It was like the 1
Yeah.
pound of muscle. It was like, looked like a piece of meat, kind of.
Yeah.
It was like this red, kind of smooth. And then they're like, and then here's the pound of fat. And it was like, it literally looked like a clump of butter
Slime, yeah.
that you hold. And it's kind of cool.
Oprah was very visual when she lost her weight. Remember that thing? I mean, she had a wagon. She pulled the wagon out, I think. That was very, I mean, it still disturbs me. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. She did it like 9 times.
That's right. Yeah.
She's still wonderful, though. We love you, Oprah.
Yeah, we do love Oprah.
We're
You
inspired.
are invited to come on the Playful Life
Yes,
podcast.
I will slide on over. I'll do the old Ed McMahon, nice to see you kind of thing.
Yeah, putting it out there to the universe. Oprah will be on the Playful Life
She's got
someday.
time now, right? Don't
She
see you on
does.
TV every day.
She does.
We'd like to hear from you. I've driven past your studio many times.
Yeah, I've known some people that have worked over there.
Yeah, one of my previous producers did that. Ashley Clary was over there finished off. So she was with her until the change to
Cool.
the network and stuff.
Yeah.
But how are you this week?
Oh, cool. I am doing good.
Yeah?
Busy, trying to
Thanks for coming
stay
to the
healthy.
show. She came to the show Saturday.
Yes, we'll talk. I'd love to talk about that because it's so playful.
Yeah.
What we did on Saturday. Ron was so gracious. He hosted an event for the Parkinson's, Northwest Indiana Parkinson's, and it was a comedy night. And Ron did a really couple funny bits.
Yeah,
as a
not
host
a
there.
ton, but it's sort of my way of doing it, I guess. I'm not a really jokey kind of guy. I
Mm-hmm.
sort of play a part when I do improv. But great headliner Nick Gaza, local guy from East Chicago, spent
Yeah.
20 years out in L.A. and made a name for himself across the nation and beyond. Performed for the Troops three different times. And then the feature was Bill Gorgo, great storyteller.
Yeah.
When I saw him do a more extended set, he just sits. It's like a campfire kind of
Yeah.
thing, and layer upon layer of just sort of running into a wall. That's what we talked about. So,
That tends to be the style of stand-up I like, is the storytelling.
right?
There's a great comic I love, Mike Birbiglia. I don't know if you know him.
I know the name.
Yeah, he's really, really good at telling a story, and the story kind of flows, and then he has like a lot of callbacks, and so that's the kind
I
of,
love callbacks.
yeah,
That's
kind of an
that's a
intellectual sort of way of doing
big
comedy,
part
I
of
think,
improv for sure.
yeah,
Sweet.
definitely.
So thanks for that. So we're sharing time outside of just here.
Yeah, that's right.
It's good.
So, to let you know here, we do have some fun things going on here.
So
We got
fun.
a taste test. So what's in this recipe, Ron?
Cabernet. It's just a Cabernet. No, it's just kidding. This
I
is.
don't know if you can see how.
This isn't all of it, of course, but its premise was 2 beets chopped in quarters, a package of strawberries, and a cup of blueberries, juiced and mixed. It's very beetish because it's like
Yeah, the
there's
beets
more
kind of
beet,
take over.
but it's not bad.
All right.
It's obviously
Here
better
we
cold,
go.
but this is the end of it, so it might be that the bottom sentiment of it too. So let me ask you about that when we're done sipping it.
Okay, yeah, I am getting a hint of the
Beet.
strawberries and blueberries in there, but it's definitely mostly beets.
It just gives me instant energy though. I'm to the
Yeah?
point now. Well, I think before I kind of made one here and then didn't for a week and then made one there and then I would make and nothing happened. Nothing seemed to happen. Now I've been consistently having it. I think I've missed 1 or 2 days and I keep one going. And I mean, like right now, I'm ready to go run around the house. Or,
Awesome.
seriously, it
Awesome.
does.
It is. It's delicious, actually.
The beets are really important. You say it's a big part of your life. Jody Barnett said the same. And we're going to hook you guys up. Wait till you see her on the Playful Life together. These two are going to just mensch the heck out of you. It's an interesting. I don't mind the taste. I mean, if it was all beets, no, I don't think I could do it. But with a little bit of strawberry juice, blueberries, I could up those a little bit though, right, to make it a little more even. Or you guys can at home.
You could, yeah.
What's the world of beets about?
Yes.
Really?
So I got introduced to beets a long time ago as a kid during Lent, when we would do meatless Fridays.
Right.
I do meatless Fridays during Lent. And my mom would make borscht, which is, I mean, we would get the jarred stuff, but you can get a jar of, it's basically just beet soup juice. It's got little bits of beets in it. We put a dollop of sour cream in there. And so as a kid, I just got really accustomed to the flavor. And then, of course, growing up Polish, my grandmother loved her beets and relish trays and stuff like that. And when you go someplace like Teebles or Phil Schmidt's, right, you would get those like little
Town Club.
pickled beets with the cottage cheese and stuff, and going to buffets and stuff as a kid with the salad
just pile
bar.
it on there.
Yeah, I would always just go for the beets, and I kind of got away from it for a while, just didn't really ever think I never thought to like bring them into my home, right? It was like, okay, I'll eat beets like in the relish tray or during Lent in the soup. And about maybe a year or two ago, I started experiencing some health issues, just with like wanting to detox my body from like a medication that I had been on, and it was having some adverse effects. And also found out after 30 some years that I was anemic.
Okay.
So I looked up some foods that were high in iron and also really good for detoxing your liver. And beets was like number 1 on that. And I was like, oh, I love beets. So lo and behold, started adventuring into the world of beets.
Right, and you said you roast them. I've only had I've only had the jar beets. Other than these beets, I think in my life, anybody that's like, well, here's some beets that'll be made. I'm not having those.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
So-
I don't understand how that could be appetizing.
In the juice, do you just juice the raw beet?
Am I not supposed to do that?
No, I guess you could. I just was curious.
I just
It just seemed
cut them
like-
in 4s and then throw them in the juicer.
Oh, okay.
It made a lot of juice.
They're just so like dense. I feel like your juicer would be like,
I got
need
a
a
fancy
nap
one.
after that.
I got a fancy juicer, although the Spinorama, whatever you call it, the subterfuge, so what is it called? It definitely is beet splattered. Like it's hard to
like-
de-beat it. I'm trying to clean all the
Yeah,
crevices.
it's just red now forever.
It is. It might be, but yeah. I mean, so when you juice them, you roast them first,
Yeah, I don't typically.
Or no, you don't juice
them really.
or you eat them.
Yeah, I drink the juice. Is that weird? That like comes out of roasting them.
That makes sense, though.
So that's what I do. But yeah, they're really easy to roast. You just wrap them in tinfoil, just kind of wash the skin a little bit and wrap it in tinfoil, and I pop it in the oven, like on a baking dish, a couple at a time. And yeah, you always want to put something underneath them, like with that or sweet potatoes, like they tend to drip, so
Right.
you get like this like stuff. So you don't want to get that at the bottom of
Have a
your
nice
oven.
little pan that's got
Yeah,
some depth to it.
just a little pan there, and you could do it that way if you wrap them in the tinfoil and then you unwrap them once they've cooled. Of course, don't touch hot, don't touch those hot beets.
Hot beats
Hot
coming
beets.
through. Hot beats.
And the skin just really just peels right off. If you take a paper towel,
Okay.
you just peel it right off. Your hands will look like you've been in surgery all day, but
Right.
the other way that you could do it, of course, is to take a potato peeler and peel them when they're raw. And then you would put them in like a baking dish of some sort with a little bit of water on the bottom. That's what I do when I want the juice that comes out of it. Because it kind of, the beets, obviously
Releases
cook
the
into the
juice.
water and then you can gather that juice afterwards. Yeah, but they're really good.
Do you like as a tea, or do you chill it after? I mean, I'm trying to find the
With
most
the juice, I just chill it.
Chill it.
And then just like kind of shoot it. It doesn't
Boom.
really taste like much. It's kind of sweet actually.
Oh,
So
not
when you
bad.
get
Beets are sweet.
yeah, when you get the beets in the brine, I guess you would call it, like a
Sure.
pickled beet sort of thing in a jar, they've added vinegar and a lot of times
Well,
they've
yeah.
added sugar. So if if you're watching your carb intake and obviously you don't want all that extra sugar, usually when I get the jars of the beets, I just like strain them, strain the juice out and then I rinse them a little bit. So I rinse some of that excess sugar off of them. Of
That
course, they've
makes sense.
absorbed some,
Yeah.
but you're at least you're not like drinking that sugar directly. So.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then straining, right? As you see, is that all right
that
for
little
you?
sediment.
Yeah. Is this a juice that would be substandard to your normal? I don't know if it can't hurt me, right? I mean, although I've been working on it. We have a strainer thing. I'm trying to purchase something that I see when I watch some juicing videos. They're sort of pouring it through something.
Yeah,
I don't
so-
have that.
So what is? Tell me a little bit, because you've talked to Jody about this, and I'm a little new to the world of juicing. I did it for a while, and then I
It's
like
pricey, by the way.
blending things. So
Yeah.
what have you learned is like the benefit of, say, not having? So if you can see, there's like a bunch of fibers kind of inside this glass. So fiber is of course really good for you, and
Yeah.
so what's kind of that philosophy on taking
I
the
think it's just
fiber
flavor.
out?
I think the flavor. I think it has to do with. I just watched the video, maybe just for the taste or to look. I get the fancy. You saw mine. I got these plastic pitchers, and they got these nice, cool glass ones. To make it really sparkle. Maybe maybe to make it look more like a juice that might be more commercially. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know any other reason. And then we said, I can tell you this: I didn't skim anything back in the day. I drank the foam. I drank everything. There was a couple times where I said, I don't think I can throw all this other stuff away. That's in the back of this that I
Yeah,
paid for.
so you find
And there was
weird
one
ways to
time I
use
made
it.
a big chicken soup, and I just said I'm putting it all in, and it was everything, fruits, vegetables, and it was amazing. It was an amazing
yeah.
soup with all of it. Then I did it again with a different mix of something, and I go, I'm going
work.
to put it in the soup again, and oh my,
Didn't
it was maybe there was grapefruits, I don't know.
Ugh.
Pomegranate.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell I did.
Something took over
But
the
yeah,
flavor.
it didn't work out. I was like, "What? Double! Look at I got a whole new thing. I'm gonna have a soup." We lived in Griffith, and I'm like, "Look at this." I mean, it was for some. It probably had more vegetable, carrots and celery probably than
there you
normal,
go.
which are the basis of all good
Right.
soups.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm a soupaholic. I made 2 soups yesterday. I'm gonna send some home with you.
All
Don't let me
right.
leave.
Thank you.
Just to try it. I got too much anyway because you know how soup is.
Yeah.
You make one batch and it's for 30. There's just the 2 of us. So she's not going to eat the one. I made a turkey chili that has black beans and kidney beans. And there's a couple dumplings. They're real tiny, though. Sort of just, and they're not even that great. It's just something to make it a little bit different. And then a chicken tortellini spinach with just carrots and celeries and
Ooh.
stuff. Obviously, the tortellini is the one bad piece of that, but a little bit, some cheese in it. And it's going to be my lunches for the next days. I've been eating out too much Big Frank sausage. But did you read today that the coronavirus is even affecting here in Northwest Indiana? People are not going to restaurants because of it. Now, I could see not going to the ball game or to the movies, but I'm eating out. If I can, I want to eat the restaurants that I can.
Yeah. I
That's
agree.
sustenance.
I tend to really necessarily like ignore that sort of stuff, but I don't buy into the hype.
Right? Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah. I mean, the numbers are pretty minuscule for sure. And right, we're working on our immune systems. I'm on Elder Power. Have you heard of
Yeah,
that?
elderpower.
I'm on Elder Power, which is elderberry.
Elderberry
What do
syrup,
you call it? Yeah,
basically, yeah.
tonic. Maybe back in the day, sorry, boosting my. I only had that little thing that I had on Monday, which I took the day off Monday. Didn't even teach improv, so
Yeah, you take a little shot glass of it.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
shot, and you can do it for 5 days in a row. So I'm gonna have this will be my fourth day, and then five.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
tell
it
you
off,
what,
but-
that stuff I found it works. I even get now I found elderberry in the gummies.
Okay.
They have different brands out there.
I like gummies.
I actually found some at the dollar store that were like a lot cheaper than the ones at Walgreens.
Sure.
But I just pop those like throughout the day.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I
El-
pop the vitamin C and I just keep it
so
going.
good. Elder Power made in Lowell, Indiana. They said.
Yeah, yeah.
Lowell, Indiana.
I think, in fact, I may even know the lady who
Right?
makes it.
I feel like, well, if you do, I feel like she'd be a perfect guest for me. Or you, too, right? I mean,
Yes.
probably more for you. But
That
I mean,
would be amazing.
I'm always searching for interesting stuff that's local like that, right? You know.
Yeah, I'd love to get her on. I think her name is Christy. So we'll have
Okay.
to. I've got a friend who's very good friends with her, so we'll get
Specializes
that
in
hooked up.
elderberries. Do they sell elderberries in the stores? I don't think I see
Now
those.
that's a thing I don't know. I've never seen an elderberry like a
Right,
what
gooseberry.
it actually
There's
is.
other berries
Yeah.
too. Gooseberry, that's something.
Yeah, my friend Colin out in Seattle area was eating. I think they're called mason berries. He was like, I don't know, he's into
very
health food
crunchy.
and stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah,
I was
like,
thinking
what is that? He's
cement
like,
block stuff. So.
kind of like a blackberry. I'm like, okay.
Oh, I like
Guess there's a lot of them. We in Northwest Indiana, we don't get a lot of different
Right,
different
with
berries
corn,
here.
corn and carrots and taters
Yeah.
and stuff. Definitely.
All the carb vegetables.
Right, exactly. We got another juice here.
Yeah, we do.
Want to show this one too
Sure.
yet? Okay. This is, I made one last week for my wife. I mean, it was called Immune Booster. Some of these have names. That was orange, lemon, and ginger. And I went out specifically and bought that.
I bet
But
that was
I
good.
went back to buy more fruit, and I think this has a cucumber in it too, by the way. One cucumber. So, I mean,
I am
that's
getting a little melon on the pellet there.
right. This is, I really bought too many oranges. So this is orange, carrot, one cucumber, and celery. I had
Okay,
a hunk
yeah,
of
yeah.
celery that needed to be used. Right. That's another thing to sort of, a lot of times for celery alone. By the way, do you notice this to be a fact? My wife says it's true. You got celery that's kind of going. If you put it under cold water, it just comes back to life for some reason. It's
Really?
weird. I don't know.
Like if it's
it
wilting?
stiffens up.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the opposite of the guys in the pool, basically. Seriously, and then I juiced it up, and then again, I don't like to say, oh, this is very celery
No.
tasting,
Yeah.
but it's orange, mostly orange.
I'm definitely getting mostly carrot in the taste, I think.
I did use 4 decent sized carrots.
Yeah.
Now those are they better? Obviously, probably better to juice than those aren't. Carrots are like off the list of some diets, right?
Really?
No,
I don't know.
maybe I'm wrong. What was that one that not the keto? Keto? No. What's the one you can't eat potatoes?
Oh, yeah, that might be keto.
No carbs, but you can eat all the cheese and meats. And,
Yep, that's keto. Yeah,
Right.
we have a gal coming on hopefully here in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Debbie, she's gonna talk to us about what that all means. What is keto? What are the misconceptions about it and stuff like that. So I'm excited to have her on the show.
I know the word ketosis is the process in your body. I don't really know much about what it means other than there's times you can't eat and you shouldn't eat. But I feel like, honestly, with my exercise process that I'm doing, I get up early to have my this is my sort of process. I get up early in the morning. I'm usually 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm up these days for some crazy reason. Since this, I don't know, it's weird. Not all the time. I have my protein shake there. Sometimes I do a run on my exercise. I didn't today. But so then I'm not having lunch till noon or with my wife maybe at 1 o'clock. And during that time, I'm either doing stuff here or I'm exercising. I'm running around. I feel my body and my stomach going, you're hungry, you're hungry. It's telling me I'm hungry. So I feel like there's a chance that I'm building some ketosis during these stretches. because of the time frame on it, but I think we'll find out from Debbie. I'm interested. I mean, it's
Yeah.
more about not really cheating yourself or hindering yourself of food. It's the smashing the time frame.
Right, right.
Is that
So you're talking kind of a little bit about intermittent fasting.
intermittent fasting?
That's the buzzword around that right now. Basically, everybody that you knew growing up that skipped breakfast,
Was right.
they were doing this. They were doing this thing
Yeah,
for
they were
years.
doing this thing for years.
And people were like, "You should eat breakfast." I don't know.
My wife, yeah, I think she's the one. She's the reason I know a little bit more about this because she's a never breakfast person
see?
unless the
Yeah.
weekend or we're
And
doing something special.
yeah, some people just, so I've been trying a little something different.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
All
So,
right.
I've got my Gem and the Holograms
Yes.
coffee mug here. Gotta love Gem and the Holograms. She's there. I got this for my birthday this year.
Happy birthday.
So
That's beautiful.
yeah, but
Those are great cups.
it's bulletproof coffee. And there's a lot of different versions of this. There's a keto coffee and different things. But it's basically coffee with MCT oil in it. MCT is basically coconut oil without the coconut flavoring. They do something special to it that I don't know. It's all sciencey. But the thought process behind it is that, the MCT or the coconut oil has a really strong or high fat content to it, but no sugar, no proteins or anything. You doing okay?
I'm okay. I'm just still getting rid of a little bit of the juice is taking right. He's drinking the juice and it expels the bad stuff in your body right as you
get it out of there.
It is. It's
yeah.
good.
So anyway, the creator of Bulletproof Coffee, Dave Asbury, was a kind of a tech guy in Silicon Valley, and was just very lethargic and thought, what are some ways that he could be more energetic. And he was also very overweight, but he was like exercising all the time, and he thought he was eating right, and all these things just weren't working. So got together with some sciencey people and, discovered that, kind of a high fat diet in the morning can sustain you longer, can help you fight off cravings.
Okay.
So the thought is that, the second that we put something very high fructose or high glucose into our bodies, we sort of trigger these ancient bacteria, these mitochondria that live within our body that then look for those food sources all day. So it's sort of like training your willpower to say, okay, I'm not going to starve to death. Like we aren't running from tigers anymore.
Right.
And
you've talked about this, the survival kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's ingrained in us to say like, I don't know, man, I better eat this cookie because we're probably not going to eat again for like 10 days. Like that's what our ancient brains are telling us. But like we know logically that we could eat anytime.
Food is fast these days, hence the name.
Yeah, exactly. So
right, very cool. Our bodies. I read some of these. Facebook kind of funny that way. Maybe I think the answer is yes. Does our DNA also factor in that? Like someone says, the reason I keep blah, blah, blah is because I'm a Polish person who, for 30 years trying to fight off the Germans, that whenever I start running, my body thinks I'm, like I said, running from the Germans. So we better keep this weight on then since, we're trying to survive, genocide. Kind of. I'm serious. Is that?
I think there is something to that.
Yeah,
I do. I think, they say that your body, like when Patty was here, right, that our bodies store memories and stuff sometimes. And I mean, it would make sense if your DNA would store memories. That's how we survive. I think that's how we evolve. And I mean, you call it survival of the fittest, right? Because our species understands how to pass on those genes and knowledge and innate skills to the next generation.
The non-opposable thumb people just couldn't make it against the rest of us.
I guess we need these.
And that is me too. I don't know. Everybody's a thumbs up person, but I don't know. I'm getting more and more. What do you call it? I mean, you know me now too, and we sort of do, right? And it's great. So you should see it. It's sort of like it's the most innocent hug in the world. Hi, and I do that too. I used to be a big sort of hugger guy, right? Now I'm just sort of hi, yeah. Don't send anything. I'm so susceptible. It seems to everything on earth, and this is helping. Right? I mean, I can't believe I was literally down for about 36 hours with this. Like, I'm going, there's no way I was going to make it, right? Everybody had it. Everybody had the flu, and I'm like, way to go. I'm high, all the way through the hallway, I'm high-fiving myself. Like, you got it. You made it through. And then, like, the big show came. That could have been part of it. There was stress there. There always is, trying to get tickets sold and sound and making all the talent and everybody very happy. And but I was just like, I bounced back. I wanted to exercise while I was ill, by the way. Is that crazy? That sounds crazy.
It does.
Because of this. The juice just
Yeah.
sort of, all right, you
There's
got to
some
do
schools
something.
of thought on that. You just got to listen to your body. So,
I did.
I'd
There
say
was
for
a
the
day I
first,
just sort of,
the first 48
Sunday.
hours that you're sick, rest is definitely your best friend. So at some point, you're actually doing more damage to your body by just overexerting yourself than just allowing yourself to rest and recover. And typically they say if you have like upper respiratory type congestion, it's probably okay to get back to your workout after about 48 hours, just depending on how you feel. But if you have chest congestion, you definitely want to take a little bit longer time, just because, again, you're not going to use oxygen as well, and you could just run into some respiratory issues if you got chest congestion. So
cool. Thank you. See? I'm learning every second. I mean, you can see I'm sort of mulling around all the time. It's just, it's a pleasure to work with the gals and Matt that we're doing here. We appreciate you guys listening. If you tell some folks about us, like, share, and view. If you guys don't know, this is our sort of thing here.
that's right.
If you haven't met me yet, you've heard me discussed off camera on this show. This is episode number 8, by the way.
Yes, I can't believe that.
Yeah,
2 months.
right?
2 months we've been
It feels
doing
like we
this.
just thought it was an idea.
Oh, yeah.
We're 2 months into it.
What a cool thing.
Right? Thank
So
you.
blessed. So let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and get a little bit of info about you, Ron, and your journey.
You got it.
Talk about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Here we
I'm
go.
here.
Have you played today? Playful activity can be anything from taking a walk to your favorite neighborhood deli to picking up a game of soccer with your friends. But most importantly, bringing a playful mindset to everyday life can elevate your mood, increase your energy, and your thirst for life. I'm Crystal, the Playful Trainer. I'm a health, life, and fitness coach. It's my passion to help you find playful ways to get you active, achieve your health goals, and live a more fulfilling life. My new book, The Playful Journal, has been featured on the Make My Day podcast, TuneIn radio show, and in the Northwest Indiana Times. I'm available for individual, group, and online coaching, or I'd love to speak at your next event. You can find me at theplayfultrainer.com or on Facebook or Instagram. Stay playful.
Baxter Printing, located at 3837 Ridge Road in Highland, is a family-owned and operated union print shop that has been serving Lake and Porter County for over 50 years. The dedicated and experienced staff is well-equipped to assist you every step of the way. From business forms to political campaign literature, signs, and mailers, Baxter Printing's quality, service, and price are unparalleled. We'll make sure you are satisfied and that nothing is misprinted. Call the best union shop in the region at 219-923-1999 today and find out what Baxter Printing can do for you. Again, that number is 219-923-1999.
Quality craftsmanship since 1952. Kadar's Woodshop is the top builder of custom cabinets for over 60 years. If you're in need of a refinish or some repair, Kadar's Woodshop is a phone call away. The Kadar reputation is well known across Chicagoland and continues to provide excellent service from design, build, to installation. Let the experts show what's possible and you decide. Call 219-884-7404 and set up a free consultation. Talk to the boss at 219-884-7404. Gene and Connie Kadar are Kadar's Woodshop, the region's quality standard.
All right, we are back. Yeah, that was a nice commercial from
Right.
Kadar's Woodshop.
You gotta love them, right? I don't know.
Right.
People do not be afraid. I mean, you hear that phrase at the end there, which I wrote everything on there, by the way. And they're like the region's quality standard. That I mean, don't worry about the price. That I mean, they're great. All you need to do is sit down. They'll tell you what's possible, and which is anything when it comes to wood, and they'll get you what you want. I mean, I got a chance to watch Gene in action when I was over there the other day. Their shop's in Hobart, and really beautiful stuff they have in their home. Obviously, they have several sort of hanging, majestic cabinets that, sort of, they come out like a big bay window in certain areas, and they're coolly tucked away in other spots where they're saving space and things along those lines. The visual, parts of it is, my dad's a carpenter, my stepfather, and so I've always appreciated the art of it.
Yeah.
Because there's an art to it, and
Absolutely.
that's great. It's 60 years they've been doing it, so clearly they're doing something right.
Yes, and I will tell you that it's a family business that goes way, way, way back. My
right.
grandfather started that business when he was young, and I mean, how cool is that? Like, sometimes I think about that. Like, I probably got the entrepreneurial gene
We were
from
talking
my
DNA,
grandfather,
right? Yeah.
because he was a self-made man and loved to do woodworking. I mean, so many awesome pieces that we've seen throughout the year from him. But, and he taught all of his kids, too, the value of hard work, because they would go to the shop on the weekends and help him with the sanding
Yeah.
and the staining and stuff like that. And
Guilty.
you can actually, I would love to do this. Gina, Connie, if you're listening, I've wanted to do this project for years. Mark and I are willing to help you with it. Let's put it out there
Yeah.
to the universe. But my grandfather and my uncles and aunt and all that, they did a lot of work in the churches in the
Yeah,
region.
they're doing, yeah.
So so years and years, you might be sitting on a church pew somewhere here in a Catholic church in Northwest
Sure.
Indiana that my grandfather made.
Made.
A lot of the stuff on the altars, I think, like St. James and Highland, they have some work there.
My dad,
And, yeah.
my stepfather, Russ Tomjanovich, you guys should all know the name. He was the architect, not the architect, but he drew up the plans for that major remodel with that big beam that he was
Wow,
there, and
yeah.
he orchestrated that whole deal. So
Cool.
let's say that too. It sounds like, well, geez, Ron, you got a sponsor from Krista Kidder. We're semi-related, and that's the thing. Her Uncle Gene is married to my cousin Connie, who I grew up with. She's a twin, and from on the Harlow side of my family. Again, I told you I was divorced. My parents were divorced at a very young age. So, right, the patriarch side always seems to get neglected. At least back in the day, it's just the way it is, sadly, or it was back then anyway. Maybe things have changed, but so I never got to spend as much time as I would have liked, but. I just mentioned it, and they were just right on board, and again, very, very family-oriented. That's what we're doing here. We're building a community. Obviously, we talk local. Our sponsors are local, so we need you guys to chime in and give them a look. It's
Yeah.
KADAR Wood Shop, and 1952. Where were you in 52?
Yeah, that's the year my dad was born. So yeah, that must have been
Sweet.
when he was like, "Hey, my grandma must have been like, we need to do something because I got all these kids now." And
It's the 50s. We're crushing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna win this big war,
Yeah,
and we
I
got
mean,
this. We got this.
I can't. Yeah, like what a cool time, right?
Right?
The
TV
boats,
came,
yeah, like,
and
what an awesome time to be alive and start a business and have all this stuff going on.
you
So
could
it's
have
very
a big
cool.
family and have a housewife and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So Ron.
So, Ron, get in there,
Ron
baby.
Harlow, everybody. I'm so
Make love to
excited
the
that
camera.
he's on my show. So
I like spending time with you. You're fun. Good people.
you hear me mention him a lot, and thanking him because he's so gracious in letting me use the studio. And
I think it's all for all of us to do well.
Yeah.
And you've helped me for a long time here as
Yeah.
well. Together.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So, I love for our listeners to know a little bit more about you and sort of your journey, and take us back, because I think when we connected, you were recovering from your second round
of
of
cancer.
cancer.
Yes.
So where did this all kind of begin?
I'll tell you, I've had some health ailments all the way back to a back injury. I don't blame it on that, but I mean, my life was pretty much healthy as a horse, other than my eyesight and allergies. Everybody have some allergy problems. When I worked at the Lake County Juvenile Center, so I had herniated discs and went down for about 3 or 4 months and such. As the doctor was nice and didn't do surgery. He was Dr. Harvey. Still love the man because he saved me from a lot of surgery that could have happened by just doing rehab and stretching. Right? They just literally
Great.
they literally stretch your spine as your discs are becoming less inflamed, and they just sort of fall back into place. Do I have issues with it still? Do I have some weight issues still? fine. But that meant I couldn't do that job anymore, so I went off and I became a banker and did that for a while. And sort of became disillusioned with that and decided I was going to be my own boss. And bought my laundromat. I still own in Whiting, Indiana. Right, it's Robertsdale, but it's right on the it's on the path of the Pierogi Fest. Very proud of that spot because we get to be a part of something that's just so amazing in the region. All the parades go by our place, and it's just 119th Street is just a blessing to the community, to the region. You should all do it. And I ran into a situation where someone was sort of fostering my comedy, whatever. I mean, I always had sort of that angle to it. The Harlows are very charming people as a group in general. We can, there's parts of the spectrum that aren't as nice, and I've worked on it. Right, you yourself probably have never really seen me in a big blow up, and I probably won't. I don't get there anymore, which is great. But my humor was always something that my mother fostered in that she turned me on to all the best. Abbott and Costello probably the most, that I love the most as far as their comedy timing. And I decided to go do comedy, and I'm literally, about to take my first improv classes, and I had a problem on the left side of my body here where, your large colon, and, we're going to get technical, come together, and I go, I think I got diverticulitis or something like irritable bowel or something like that. So I went to get tested. Turned out they do X-rays and stuff. They found a tumor on my right kidney.
Wow.
I wasn't looking for it. It wasn't a test for kidneys at all.
Yeah.
But they saw it. They found it before. They found it sort of before, right? It's showed.
That's awesome.
Turned out to be like stage 1, which was good. Sadly, it was too close to my spine, so they couldn't do it laparoscopically. So I had to get cut open big. So then again, it still was cancer, but I mean, it was no radiation. It was a partial nephrectomy, and I had to lose 2 ribs though to get to it. My floaters on the right.
That's what people pay big money. And
Yeah, right.
Little tiny waists. They remove
Right.
their ribs.
It hasn't worked in my case, Crystal. It hasn't worked at all. Although I showed you the belt loop last Saturday. What's going on?
Yeah.
My belt, the middle is still there, but the underneath the middle that whole area is condemned. It's getting the Harlows are known for large heads and no butts, and I'm not even being funny there. We all have that, and white man butt or whatever you want to call it is a part of it. So that was rough, but a year and 3 months later, I did it. I said I'm gonna still do it. I went and started comedy at 40, almost 41, doing improv, and I did that for 10 years, and pretty hard and heavy. I still do it all the time. I teach it. I do it as often as I can, but I was really going up a lot to Chicago.
That's awesome.
My wife and I, our relationship was strained. It's going to be when you do something like that 4 or 5 nights a week, getting home at 1:30, 2 o'clock, because you're on stage at midnight.
Yep.
And then this last couple of years, I started getting a weird thing in my eye. I thought it was eye problem. I've never had great eyesight. Probably the reason I was never that good at Little League because I didn't get glasses until that was over. Seriously. Sorry, Dad, who was a big sports guy, Ronald Sr. And it turned out it was a tumor. And I didn't know, but behind my right eye, literally pressing against. So it made my right eye look like a funhouse mirror a little bit. I mean, like steady. Yeah. And I let it go a little too long, maybe before getting checked. Who knows what? But it turned out to be... they called it renal cancer too. So they determined that this was here when this was here.
Oh.
Both at the same. So this grew for 12 years without showing enough for me to knock me down.
Okay, so
that's
existed.
the whole thing, which I did get knocked down by it. I mean, I literally fell over when it said, it's over. It's time to go to the doctor here. And I thought, to the doctor, I'm like, well, sorry, I'm going to get the new eyeglass. I mean, they did the MRI. So, I mean, I was, a doctor, I knew, what was this stuff called? It's with the not beta carotene, but Lipsin, something like that's in tomatoes. Am I going to change some supplements, doctor,
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, no. Within a half a day, I was up to UIC, and they were, prepping me for brain surgery. Scary time.
Wow.
For
Yeah,
sure.
very.
Easter, 2 Easters ago. So it's almost, 2 years ago.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
2 years ago.
Yeah. 2. Might have been
3 years. What am I
we
thinking?
We've
You got
known
right?
each other.
It might be 3 years
Yeah.
now. Is that crazy? It can't be
I think
3.
3 because in 2018 when
Yeah.
I was competing in Mrs. Indiana the first time, you were recovering still. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, right. And it was a year that it was essentially a year from the surgery that WJOB got rid of me.
So it was
And
2
so
years.
that was,
Yeah, it was 2 years. Wow.
Yeah. And it was a long road, right?
Yeah.
Staples in your head kind of thing. But 5 days of radiation was it.
Oh.
No chemo.
Wow. Yeah.
No further surgeries yet. Lots of MRIs, though. Hate them. Hate them.
Yeah, I remember
So
you
tight.
going in for those
I'm big.
body scans and stuff. Yeah.
You roll. I mean, if your shoulders roll up in something, it doesn't feel like. I mean, you're a big knish, is what you are. Cannoli, maybe.
Yeah.
You're wrapped in this thing, and I don't like it. But it was a rough road, and I'm lucky.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean, how amazing that manifested in such a way that caused you to be like, hey, there's something wrong here. What's going on?
That I didn't. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this one was luck that I got it early, and this one clearly I waited too long. But what they
Yeah.
described it as
Well,
is it was sitting on my brain like a. I think they said a donut, right, or Danish or something like that. Just sitting in there, where they just came in and pulled it out, versus like it could be in
wow.
there.
Yeah.
So that was lucky.
Interesting. Now, is there a history of cancer in
Yeah,
your family?
yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
My dad pancreatic, my grandpa brain.
Wow.
My sister had skin. My mother never had it, but had some serious health issues. So, I think a lot of it has to do with history for sure, and our processed food intake, and the idea that, I mean, there's a comedian, I won't say his name because he's been in trouble, sadly. Very funny guy, though. I mean, God just give us food, right? It's on the ground. Pick it up. Take it off the tree kind of thing. We've gone away. I mean, I went away from a lot of that, especially in the comedy game. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's nothing but late night pizzas.
Yeah.
And
in the music industry, too, people, grab
what are you
going
going to do? I mean, you just, like you said, you did a show last night. When you're done, you got to be ravenous
Yeah.
for something.
It was hard. Yeah.
Either, a couple shots, That's another thing, too. I used to drink pretty heavy. I did. My family is a family of drinkers. Mm-hmm. Do you know that of the Harlows? Connie and I think Connie, I don't mean, but like weddings and funerals, forget it. I mean, there should be a bus for the Harlows. And again, I think it's part of that body too. You're sort of drawn to that, and I haven't. About my kidney problems that all caused this was sincerely had to do with my pop intake, because you've seen my bigger glass that I use that's like this, right? That I would go that much whiskey, and then the rest would be a kind of whole can of pop.
Yeah.
And I could drink 5 of those probably in a night. Sitting here playing darts or shooting cards and playing, poker till 3 or 4 in the morning. When your body's invincible, when you're 22,
Right.
23, starting, you're like, got my new Dodge Daytona ES with a spoiler, sunroof, hooked my wife in, right? My wife came and loved me for the rest of my life. I think it was because of the car. I missed my Daytona. It was just sort of a bucket of bolts. Like, it sort of like, it just sort of, it didn't go fast, but it looked plastic and cute. And I remember, I've got some pictures I'll show you. I'm out. It's on Facebook somewhere.
We gotta put this up.
I am sunbathing in some shorty shorts with my cool long hair. I'm at the juvenile center at the time.
He's got the nice legs, too.
I thank you. The dancer's legs and feet, by the way. My feet are attractive, and my red Daytona's sitting there. It's in there deep because it is about the most embarrassing photo I've ever done. For one, I don't sunbathe, so this was a time where I was really trying to shine it on.
Yeah.
For the ladies with my acid wash jeans jeans jacket. Please come back, jean jackets and bell bottoms. Come back.
I guess you got to move to Canada to rock the jean jacket. That's what.
Is that what it is? I see you're still sticking with the denim. No, I like denim. It just feels good on me. I had one acid wash jean jacket that I just wore until, like, people thought I got it because of the holes, because people do that with the holes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, my wife, you got to get. We throw it away finally, but it was just tats. It was just tatters, and I'm like, it was the coolest thing ever.
Everybody's got that one piece of clothing
I
that they're
loved
like,
it.
I can't get rid of this.
I just don't have very cool jackets in my life, as you notice. You even notice now, like my jackets. I'm large, and none of my zippers work. So you can. I mean, I'm too late. There are two new jackets, by the way, for me to just scrap them. I can't fix the zipper. Who does that? So I literally walk around like an old lady all day with this sort of, and I wear a lot of scarves and hats.
This must be a family thing because my dad has a jacket that he can't unzip all the way, so he'll zip it about all the way almost, and then take it up over take it up over his head, and I'm like, Dad, you're 60-some years old. Get a jacket that works and fits you.
It still works. It works fine. I'm just going to complain about it. Is that all right? Seriously, as long as I get to complain about it, like I'm now, I'm okay with it. I really am. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
I took one of my winter coats over to CD1 Price and Munster over there because this is so bad. It started with a little rip, and then I was like sticking my whole arm into the lining of the jacket because it had ripped so bad. So I'm like, I've had this jacket, I don't know, 10 years. I'm like, it's still good. I just got to fix this.
I have this problem, and one is now there's random coins and change caught up in the coat places because, the hole at the very beginning, I put the coins in there, and they're lost. I don't know how to get some. I'll literally show you before. That's a quarter. There's a nickel. There's coins in my jacket, the loose coins. Because I'm sorry.
That's your savings
plan.
That's your savings plan.
Exactly. In your mattress, forget it. I carry it around with me. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's right. You got to.
I don't trust anyone.
You never know.
I don't trust a soul around here. But I got to say, I'm a better person. Brain surgery, they said, changes you. Again, I'm emotional, by the way. That's part of it. They said, because it's behind my right eye. So that's where your emotional standards are.
Yeah, your frontal lobe, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I feel that different. My wife, my memories sometimes, but that's going to happen when you get older anyway. I'm still pretty sharp, though. And I still come up with funny stuff, I think, and creative things. And
you do.
I'm just very lucky. Mm-hmm. Unlucky, but lucky.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit, how you were like, hey, I want to be my own boss.
Yeah.
And, that is like the exact same thing that I went through about 2 years ago.
Yep.
And I think there's that spirit in you that was like, there's something more for me.
Right.
I want to be my own boss. I want to pursue this dream. That was the fighting spirit, I think, that got you through your cancer. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that you weren't just like, I'm just going to lay down and take this.
I hear you.
You had a why that was so strong that you had fought for already so hard to go forth and forge your own path and all these things that I think when that came up for you, the cancer, you were like, screw you, cancer. Yeah. I got other plans.
I do. And it was in the works that things were changing over at the station even before, about a year even before I got this. And it just, I wouldn't say it came at an opportune time. It probably did for getting fired, I guess. But I fought through it. And I had always eyes on being, you know my style over there and over here. It's community related first and foremost. Mm-hmm. I don't spend a lot of time ingratiating myself, and I don't really like to say Ron Harlow Media. If you saw the show yesterday, I put really opposite of me. If you know me, I put Aaron had me on. I was joking about being Puff Daddy because I'm on all my own shows now, and I'm just of course I'm on. Listen to me. But I put it said Aaron Alice, like it could have been with Ron Harlow, of Ron Harlow Media, featuring Ron Harlow, a Ron Harlow Media production.
So the other day, Mark and I were watching Kevin Hart, one of his YouTube channels.
I love him.
Oh my gosh, I love Kevin Hart. So it went to a commercial during a Kevin Hart sketch on his YouTube channel. And he was in every commercial that was on there.
And he jokes about it. Doesn't he joke about being a commercial?
And like Mark and I were like, this guy has arrived. And he is not afraid to be like, yeah, I'm in my own commercial. Because why wouldn't I be
right
in my own commercial that advertises for my station?
Speaking of that, we're going to be doing some of that, I think. We should do some sort of VO stuff that promotes each other. We can play on each other's shows and sort of joke around because I know we have the creativity for it. But yeah, I mean, that's why everybody. I'm in the middle of watching the movie Chaplin. Have you seen it?
No.
Charlie Chaplin, of course. Robert Downey Jr. plays the unbelievable physical of a great Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's actual daughter plays Robert Downey's mother in the beginning of the movie.
Wow.
Actual
cool
daughter, her last name. And she was an actress. She was in other stuff. IMDb is the best. I miss 10% of all movies now, by the way. I'm just, who's in that? What else was she in? All right. Yeah. I'm insane. I mean, it's becoming an obsession.
I love it. It's a rabbit hole.
It is.
For sure.
I have an IMDb, by the way. It's one credit.
Check it out.
The things we've seen. I was Tom the Villager. But what were we even talking about? Oh, being your own boss. Yeah. He realizes he has the talent. The producer that finds him says, I got something. Then they give him a ton of stuff. It's still not enough. The money's not. I'm paying you $1,000. He was happy to make $150 a week. Then he's making $1,000 a week. Nope, I want to run my own production.
Yeah.
All right, he did his own thing. Now, I would say that I would be against working with a bigger media group or something like that. But when you have the opportunity, it really had a lot to do with Crystal, like some folks like yourself, and Chuck and Tom and Michelle and Shamari and all my, a lot of my sponsors that said we still want to hear you.
Yeah.
We still want your voice out there, and we like your attitude. And several of my sponsors are sponsors because of my commitment to the community. No other reason.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I don't. Right. One in particular, I won't bring them up. They're doing great. I don't really need anything from me. Honestly,
yeah.
But I am going to do everything I can to get them more business because that's my goal. Mm-hmm. It's just nice to have some folks that recognize that, I could be doing a lot of other stuff. I have an MBA. I graduated with honors at every level of school. You wouldn't know it, and you wouldn't know it by our history of our family either. I'm not saying my family, but a lot of them are hard-working, skilled people. For some reason, my hands didn't work. My dad was a union a crane operator, and I mean like the cranes where they touch the sky kind of deal. Very large, like he told me stories about, how easy you got to manipulate this stuff because the effect of something is so much more when you're talking that economies of scale there of something like that kind of thing. And I don't know, I grew up around a lot of women, a lot of talking, and I'm not someone who didn't mind getting his hands dirty. I've done a lot of cleanup things, but I just didn't have the skilled labors to do it.
Yeah.
And used my, wasn't good at sports either, so what could I be good at in school? I said, well, let's be good at this. And my mom was always very, very supportive of school and making it fun. If you can make school fun, it actually is by the time you get there. My mom got school to be fun before I even got there. Mm-hmm. We played school.
Yeah.
We played I could do everything but divide before I walked into a school. I could do everything but divide.
You were set up to win.
Up to 10, probably. Even the 9s, right? 9s were tough. But then you learn that trick where it says 1, 2, 3, and then reverse. You know what I'm talking about. That's the crazy thing, right? If you go 1 through 9, you can just go 9, 8, 7, 6, and then reverse that, and you'll have all the groups of 9. But I loved numbers. I loved spelling. I loved challenging myself. I loved being that, right? When those back in the day it was a competition that I could compete in and win, which was if you got your 50 math questions, first one in, boom, right, boom. Yeah. And when you turn that 50 in, and sometimes I'll be honest with you, it was more about the race, so sometimes I'd get a couple wrong here and there. Pissed myself off big time. But when you were the first one in, you went 50 out of 50. Yeah, all right. And you'd sit around.
It's a good feeling.
And it is. And you'd sit around and watch. I actually was a decent basketball player. I played on the Merkley team, whatever. My dad's name recognition of the community as a sports guy, Ronald Sr., literally helped. My coach was a former ball player of him. Oh. Mr. Joris, by the way, from Merkley School, believe it or not, knew my dad, knew he was a good player. I was not. But sitting there after the test while there's another 5 or 10 minutes watching everybody struggle, and you're just sort of, we'll see you guys at recess. I'm ready. Kickball. We talked kickball yesterday. Did you see it? It's over there. Uh-huh. I'm being playful, and I'm in a good mood now, obviously.
That's
and
good.
More juice, please.
I think this is the magic juice.
You drank all yours. No, you can't have any more.
No, I did. This is the playful juice. That's what we'll call
It
it.
is. This is how my show normally is. I just get a lot of energy and I expel it. I think that's part of the weight loss too. Now that I'm doing, 10 hours of radio again, I pick up shows here and there. We were doing the fantasy football show. Became a grind, seriously, after I think we did 25 for you fantasy football shows. And it was profitable for me. I did very well. But you use energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if you're just sitting, add that with your physical stuff. But
Absolutely.
I feel great. I just got some test results from my, some fluids testing from my doctor, and
Looking good?
like he lost a bunch of weight. Not that doctors are fat, but this guy, he was chubby, not as chubby as me, but he went last year. He looks fantastic. Just follow suit. Crystal looks fantastic. I want to hear about. You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a
I
short
want to
break.
hear about the pageant.
Oh,
a
okay.
little more.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
That's exciting. Mrs. South Shore we're sitting with, by the way.
Yes.
So cool.
All right, we're going to hear from Dr. Tori's Dental Shop. Here we go.
I gotta call her.
Dr. Tori's Dental Shop in Cherville is a dentist to the stars. Her wealth of knowledge in the area of pain management, plus her ability to communicate the process, makes you feel like a star. The practice is growing for all the right reasons. Call and set up an appointment before her client book is full. Call 219-322-4036 and tell them you heard about it right here on Ron Harlow Media. Dr. Tori's Dental Shop is located at 130 East Joliet Street in Cherville at 219-322-4036. Call and feel better about every dental visit you ever have again.
Spend the holidays with us in downtown Hammond, Indiana. You'll have a fun and festive time while supporting small and local businesses. Enjoy shopping, dining, brewery, the arts, and events. Like and visit the Downtown Hammond Council on Facebook for a listing of where to go and what to do. Call Karen at 219-512-4298 between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Hammond is happening.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
Experience Broadway in Northwest Indiana. Established as the top provider of entertainment, Theater at the Center in Munster brings you the best in live theater, music, and comedy without city prices and parking hassle. With its elegant setting and superb talent, Theater at the Center in the Round makes each production must-see. Five-star dining is optional for select shows in each of the Thursday night performances. For show dates, times, and prices, visit theateratthecenter.com or call 219-836-3255. Ask about becoming a subscriber. Discounted tickets and priority seating are just a few of the benefits you'll receive. Call 219-836-3255. Theater at the Center. You'll leave impressed. Now listen to Harlow tell you about what's on stage right now.
Yes, that's what's going on. Well, you know what's going on at the Theater Center. It's almost heaven. It's the tribute to John Denver. My dad's going. I'm hearing great reviews from it.
Yeah.
If you've not been to the Theater Center, it is an amazing place. March 16th, we have a benefit there. We're going to tell you more about that as it gets close.
Yes.
She will be performing in that, singing some songs. And our great Nick Gaza and a laundry list of stand-up comedians are showing up to support Sue.
Great. Yeah, Sue is a server, I believe, right? With the
Yes.
with the catering there.
And it's such a great place. I'd like to work there. I mean, I don't want to give up all this, but I'd like, if Richard or Phil, if you need a guy to vacuum.
I'm sure they could put you to work there.
They even have
They
amazing.
do. They put me to work anytime they
Right,
can
see, but
possibly.
but you are often dressed very extravagantly, right?
Like a princess usually.
Right, and she again, it's just I love the place. We used to have when I was a banker, believe it or not, we had our officer meetings in the basement there, where it was a kind of you feel like you're in a museum kind of place, very serene. There's art art going on everywhere, from food to touchable visual art
Yeah.
to the performing arts. Theater
Yeah.
at the center, the best.
Yeah. Very good.
I love having.
Good
I
folks over
love
there.
being a part of it, even the littlest that I can be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, and you are representing Northwest Indiana.
I am.
Do you do that over there too sometimes, or no? That's the glam. What do you call it? Showgirls. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I was a showgirl at their
Sure.
gala. I've done that a couple years. Sometimes they have these things called princess parties.
Princess parties.
Unfortunately, though, the princess party that's coming up next, I will be competing in the pageant that day, so I can't do that. But
Okay.
at the Family Arts Festival a couple weeks ago, I did dress up. You know, I had my sash and my crown, and
Yeah.
I was representing Mrs. South Shore. Also was at the 219 Day.
219 Day
if
with
you
the
were
mayor.
there.
I saw the
Yeah,
pictures. Sorry I
yeah.
missed that. We had a family event that had been planned for a while, and you can't break away sometimes. And I've never missed it. I've never missed 219 Day. It is a lot of fun, Hammonites.
is.
You should know and go. And again, you're out there in front of the camera helping us all. Even she represented us finally. Thanks for sending that. Someone wrote. Ron Harlow Media is the region.
Yeah.
We're just getting going here. Maybe you guys are the region too. I mean, we can make every list of everybody that we're working with here. But
Yeah.
very cool
Yeah,
that you're going to be
and I
competing
am
again.
proud to represent Northwest Indiana.
Yeah,
Growing up, I didn't really see the rest of the state in Indiana seems to be a lot more pageant oriented, I guess, than maybe our region. And for whatever reason, that's just the way it is. But how cool to represent this little corner of the state. We're very different here. Obviously, those of you who don't know Northwest Indiana who might be listening to this across the country. So we here in Northwest Indiana often tell people that we're from Chicago, right?
Chicagoland. I say Chicagoland.
Because we're
Yeah.
on the Chicago time zone. We're on Central Time here, whereas most of the rest of Indiana, outside this little microcosm
Right.
but
Blue
is
dot.
on Eastern Time. And, we tend to be the blue dot on the map.
Right.
The rest of the state leans pretty red. But we're just really unique. And I talked about this with Patty Schaffner when she was here.
Love
that
Patty Schaffner.
I don't know of any other place in the world where you can live so close to a major city
Right.
with all of these opportunities with art and culture and food, and we get all the major performers that come through the city. We have awesome sports teams. I mean, where can you live like 20 minutes, right?
20
I mean, if
minutes.
we hopped on the expressway, we could
Sure,
be
in
to
Chicago.
Chicago in 20 minutes. There are people in Chicago that can't be in Chicago in 20 minutes.
That's true.
And our taxes are low, our quality, our
Gas is
our-
low.
our cost
right.
of living here is very, very reasonable, and
is.
property is very reasonable to own here.
You wonder why that we're not just jam packed with people.
Yeah,
It's not that
I
horrible.
don't know. Am I giving away a secret? Maybe I
I
don't know.
know. I said just wear a sandwich board that said what the expenses are
Yeah.
in Northwest Indiana for, X amount of square foot house. Just walk around, hire some people. The
Yeah.
train will be paid for in no time.
It's-
I don't see enough advertisement across the board around that because it's obvious what we have. They say a lot of apartment complexes and our schools are loaded with Illinois plates and Illinois plates, whatever that means. I don't know if it means that Illinois plates are cheaper to have than Indiana. They just went over there and did that. I'm not sure how all that works, but there's a lot of reason to plug in here outside of, again, a sadly more competitive steel market that has
Right.
chased away a lot of the industry that was here. But maybe we could really promote ourselves as a sleepaway town that has a lot of the greatest food, best breweries, right? We have the best
Yes.
brewery in the state.
Microbreweries, yep.
2 years in a row, right? Because it was Byway, and it's 18th Street this year, right?
Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Three
Three
Floyds.
Floyds it is this year. I think that can't be their first win, right? People
no,
come from
they've
all over
taken
for
that
the
award many years.
for sure. I mean, we have that. I'm not a huge beer drinker, but I understand the affection for it. We have the casinos. We have the biggest freshwater mass on Earth in Lake Michigan, folks. So
and miles of shoreline that are absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
right,
absolutely.
And if you that one up there in Whiting there, that beach walk,
Yeah, they've really done some
It's
amazing
got
things.
swings. It has it. You can go up there on a fall day and still enjoy yourself because you walk the path versus going down to the sand.
Right.
My wife and I do it when we're up at the laundromat since it's right there.
Yeah.
So many reasons to come here just to have a decent life and work in Chicago.
Yes.
So the money is there. That's why, people go there.
Yeah.
And this train's supposed to save that, right? This train that's supposed to help get folks from the south to Chicago much quicker. If we're going to do it, which we are, we better, we need to market this a different way than, a steel mill town.
I agree.
That has
Yeah.
a lot of things that that need. Infrastructure-wise, we need a little help. Some of our school systems need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
We're borrowing a little bit too much money. So if we get more people to live here to pump up that property value or that property tax base, we'll be able to do, if we stick, and then we don't get crazy with it, right? If we make more money, because when you spend more, it means you catch up a little bit first, right? Is my idea. And as they, more property taxes and then less vacant housing or it comes in, we'll be able to do, more, at least the same level with reducing that debt service, which is, again, being a banker and a finance guy and someone who's been against the wall financially, medical-wise, right? Medical bills can knock you, right? Do you want to file bankruptcy? Sure, I could have. We could have a couple times, but you don't want that, I guess.
Yeah.
I figure 10% of whatever they're spending on me should be fair, right? I got to pay a little bit here, right? It's ridiculous what it costs, right? I mean, like more than I may ever touch or see in my life has been spent on me 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, yeah. So, yeah, what an interesting thing, too, that, I mean, not that you weren't doing things to be healthy or prevent disease, but, I mean, cancer is obviously one of those things that affects people no matter what. I mean, my friend Colin experienced some cancer and he was a vegan, right? And super healthy, quit smoking and lived a really healthy life and still got cancer. He's coming out the other side of that though. So we're so blessed that he's in recovery.
It's getting more treatable every day, cancer is.
Yeah.
So keep
but
pumping
there
money into
are
it.
a lot of diseases out there that are preventable, like type 2 diabetes and a lot of heart disease. I mean, some of it's hereditary, sure, but some of it is also diet, exercise, high blood pressure, those types of things that really can be avoided. And, we were talking about dentistry, just before when we took that break, we were hearing from Dr. Tori.
Dr.
And
Best, I'm not telling you.
we would tell people
She's the
all
best.
the time, it's so much cheaper just to stop drinking Mountain Dew and pop and brush your teeth twice a day and floss than it is to come and see her for a filling or a crown or whatever. But
or a replacement bridge.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff. My mother, it's another hereditary thing though. Smidgen. Bad teeth are running my family. My mother spent 10,000 several times, and she ended up with the bridge, that she never fit right and was never happy with. You know enough about it. I have a couple open spots. I'm thinking about saving up after we get through working out. We're going to be working out with her and the implants, right?
Ah, yes.
I'm going to try that as well. But, preventative is such a better way to go about it. And there's rinses and things that can help your calcium.
Of course.
And calcium pills and things like that, or milk.
Diet is so, I mean, it's not just, and when I say the word diet, I don't mean like I'm on a diet. I mean like your healthy way of living.
Crafting something.
The way you eat.
Yes.
It's not just good for your physique, but so good for all these other things. And so.
I hear you. Temple had a bunch of tooth work done. She has a bridge now. My other buddy's been losing teeth left and right over some health ailments. So again, right? I mean, he's going to end up eating a lot of meals out of a straw at some point, or
you can
dental
juice.
bills.
You can
juice now. It's so expensive, though. I mean, that's the thing. Dental insurance is hard to get in general, and that area of you think of how small it is, but man, the one tooth was probably I remember somewhere at $1,500.
Yeah.
but they saved my tooth. What's the cost of that? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I want to feel like I'm biting into an apple when I bite into an apple.
Well, that's just it. You think, oh, when you're in your 30s, you're like, oh, I got this tooth and it's 2,000 to save it or 200 to pull it. I was talking to a guy at the bar yesterday about that, and I'm like, he was a young guy, and I'm like, save the tooth.
I keep telling Temple
Put
that
it on
too.
a credit card, because when you're
Yes.
70, you're going to be missing that tooth, because if you stay on this path and now all of a sudden you're 70, 75 and you don't have any teeth, you're not going to be able to eat, your nutrition's going to go, you're going to lose weight, you're going to be unhealthy, all these things.
Right.
So, yeah, very important.
Back to the pageant. What's the date on it? What's the date on it?
So, yeah, I'm competing for Mrs. Indiana April 18th.
April 18th.
Yep. It's coming
lucky
up. It's coming up about
Right on.
6 weeks, I think.
Go get them.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot just to prepare myself mentally and physically. And I talk a lot in the book
Yes, let's show it.
about
So awesome.
about my struggles with body image and my struggles with eating and being healthy. And when I did the pageant 2 years ago, I really made it a point to do it in a healthy way and not get obsessive about losing inches or weight or looking a certain way. And I know a lot of people maybe don't understand what pageantry is all about. So it's a lot more than just putting on a fancy dress.
Oh, for
Or
sure.
putting on a bathing suit and walking around. I mean, that is, of course, part of it, but it's about showing up as your best self and being really confident with whatever that is for you. So the kind of the message that I've been really hearing, or that God has really wanted me to hear this time around, is very different than the message that I got last time when I competed 2 years ago. So
Interesting.
the message that I had received from God last time was to be confident and to forge my own path in life and to pursue the dreams, stop living the dreams that everybody else has for me, that I thought everybody wanted for me,
Right.
to kind of forge my own path and go ahead. And so I did that. I wrote the book.
That's
and
amazing.
I started a business. I've got this podcast. But this time around, the message is very different. Obviously, I've put things in momentum with getting on my own path and setting my own life. And this time, I'm really hearing this message of confidence. And when I say confidence, people can really pick up on that. And sort of this thing that, like, you don't have to be perfect. It's not about perfection. It's not about what your hair looks like. It's not about the dress you're wearing. It's not about how nice your thighs look in your bathing suit. I mean, obviously, you want to be healthy. You want to show up feeling your best self, but really, you got to put in the work ahead of time so that you feel confident, so that when you step out on that stage, you say, here I am. This is me. I'm your queen, or whatever it is. So sort of qualifying yourself and not waiting for someone else to anoint you. So
Right.
that's the message. I have to crown myself first, because if I don't believe that I am worthy of that crown or that title or that book or that podcast or that client or that speech or whatever, no
Right.
one else is going to believe that. So what an important lesson, right?
I love it.
And that's,
It's something I'm going to take away from today's show, and even myself, because I believe everybody has self-doubt,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been a bit more so. I mean, I lack doubt in others most of the time. I'm pretty trusting and worthy.
Yeah.
I think what Michael said the other week was, I took that one. Really, the nicer you are, the bigger the bigger chance to be a victim you are.
Right.
Seriously.
Yep.
Keeping your guard up sometimes. I took a lot away from that guy, by the way. You should check that show out. Really a great.
Yeah, Michael Van Beek was on
He
last
really
week.
laid it out.
Awesome.
That's what I mean. Open and honest. That's what we're doing. I mean, he didn't hold back any of his life's trails and things along those lines. But getting up on stage and improvising at 40 years of age took a lot of guts in general. I've only had one other part on stage in my life, and I was the understudy. In 6th grade, Jacob Marley, Christmas story. Or no, I mean, sorry, A Christmas Carol, of which I only had to sing the song. I told you that story.
Yeah.
It's the start of my comedy life, essentially. It's a really great story. I've told it a dozen times. I don't want to, but to do that was really scary, and it took me a long time to even feel vindicated, or what is it, that I belonged at all, even in Chicago, with all these kids, because they were. If you were over 25, you probably weren't in my classes. Seriously, you were 22, 23.
Yeah.
People, I mean, my very first class was literally a melting pot of America. We had people that had moved from Maine, from NorCal. My best friend in improv, Matt Hammonds, who just got a big Broadway review. I'll tell you more about that on my show. I'm going to have him on the air.
Woo-hoo.
He plays 8 parts in a movie, or he plays 8 parts in the same
Wow.
play.
Cool.
It's somewhere I believe, and then the real meaning, maybe you know, and then he plays parts where he dies in every scene. He comes up 8 times, and he's the star of the show, but he has to die, and he plays all these families that dies. He from North Cal. We had Florida. You know, it was a lot of people together, and building confidence on the stage. What really worked for me was like, if you could figure this out, if somehow you can get decent at improv, think about how. If you know what you're going to say, like we do a lot of public speaking where we know the topic we're going to be covering, imagine how much better you'll be in those moments when you get up there and you really have no idea in the moment what you're about to say or do. Just be reactive and physical. I think it's helped me in my connecting with the audience.
Yeah.
You know that, and being an actress yourself. Just started a great video. What's the name of the song? Such a great song.
Old Reliable.
Old Reliable. Like a broken-hearted man. I feel that guy. I was, the song. It's the country version of what's his name, Biz Markie, Just a Friend, right? Oh, just a friend. Nobody wants that. I've been in that situation. God, awfully. It pays off though. Being the nice friend, for one, makes you relate to women a lot better. So if the right one that doesn't find you too heinous comes along, they will take you.
And boy, you got a good one.
Yes, I do. She is great, and she's tireless. Please tell her that statement next time, seriously, that when she's sick, that first 48 hours is probably best spent resting, and that the toll it takes on your body could be worse than just trying to sweat your way through it. She's just a go-go. She doesn't have a stop button usually, right? She just I can be pulled over anytime for whatever reason. But confidence is key in anything in life. In improv even. So many people said, Ron, you got it. It's in there. Just fake it till you make it more. I can't even fake it right. I'm trying. But I got better, and I'm a much better teacher, I think, than a player, because my students just crush, by the way, and they have way less training than I do, and they're all as old as me or older. So it's not a game that you can just be a young person and do it.
Yes,
I've proved that too.
Exactly.
It's amazing. Gail, one of our best players I've had of all time, she said she started with me at 70, and she's been in a couple classes, had back from knee replacement, kicking ass again. She was supposed to be on yesterday, but she was afraid of the Harlow virus. Thanks for not being worried, but again, I can't tell you how having folks like you and having that support system and all the prayers that I had, that helped. That helped get me here.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I love that too. Again, tying it into the Playful Life. One of the key lessons in the book is that you are never too old for anything, never too young either, right? So go after it, guys. Get after that dream, whatever it is. I was 33 when I competed in my first beauty pageant, right? And
cool.
So that's crazy. A lot of toddlers and tiaras, right? A lot of girls start when they are that young.
Have you seen Little Miss Sunshine?
Yes.
She's kicking ass. That's what she's doing. Oh, God. I loved it. I love the song. I can't remember the song it was. Super Freak, right? Yeah. Wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't know. I love weird movies like that, too, by the way. So, be confident and, blossom.
Qualify yourself first, and don't wait for others to qualify you or to choose you. Just go out there, choose yourself.
You're great. And people will know who you are. They'll tell you.
Yep.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It is. Anybody who's on next week? I'm not trying to transition you off.
Next week, let's wrap this. Next week, I have Gail Andrews coming on.
Another Gail.
Yes, another Gail.
Gale Force Winds coming our way. Gail? Or Gayle?
Gayle. Y-L-E.
See, then
I'll
we
be putting
have
something out
gals
there.
that, at least writing-wise, we can distinguish.
Yeah, I'm excited to have her on. She's super cool. She is actually married to Jason Andrews, and he is in Echoes of Pompeii with me.
Oh,
And,
gosh.
she
Great band.
she has an awesome kind of story about how she got into being a fitness coach, and she's a personal trainer. And she talk about somebody who has endless amounts of energy, right? This lady wakes up, she goes and trains people at the Y in Valpo. She does spinning classes, all these things, and then she goes home and works like a full-time job from 9 to 5 and has kids and all of these things. And so I'm really excited to talk to her about how do you do it? Where do you tap into all this energy? And sort of the world of spinning, because I have never, guys, let's have a real moment here. I got on a bicycle and relearned how to ride a bicycle. I have really never rode a bicycle ever.
Right.
I was in the school parking lot with my husband, and on a fall day, and he is like, okay,
Pedal.
Okay, this is
All right, you got it.
yeah, that was our life. And then 3 weeks later, I broke my ankle and didn't get back on the
Oh,
bike.
was
So
that the trip?
This
Then
summer,
then you took the trip?
yeah, and then we
Oh,
took the
my
trip. So this
gosh.
summer, I'm gonna get back on the bike, guys. So
I'm with you then. I have a
Spinning.
one-speeder. I bought it for just me because I'm only one speed. I'm with you. There's a lot of bike paths. We can cruise
Yeah,
around.
we can.
I'm getting stronger. My legs are definitely getting stronger. I'll bike with you. We're sort of neighbors. Is spin class that? Are you doing bikes in the class, or what is?
yeah,
I really
so
don't know idea what spinning
I really
is in the
don't
class.
know
Do you?
either.
I mean,
I
that
think
sounds
you're,
like
you're on a stationary
okay.
bike.
So that
So
sounds
I can
dangerous if you're
handle
going
this. I can handle probably a stationary bike. But I mean, people there's some crazy stuff going on. People pass out. People, I mean,
in spin class.
there's a whole thing, and then there's this thing called Soul Cycle. So I don't know if she's got maybe more inside story on that. So yeah, very very cool. Tune in next week. for
Next
Gail.
week, 8 a.m. Thursdays.
Yep. Thursdays.
Until we're all famous and we're on daily.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
every moment
Sitting in this
sitting
chair.
on each other's show. I watched the national news. These people are also tireless, by the way, because a lot of them do their once, and then everybody shows up at least once on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
I'm serious. I'm like, do you guys just live in
just like a
bunkers
club.
in the back?
Yeah.
I mean, do you have families? I mean, they sitting in on each other's show, right? I mean, everybody. It's very incestuous in its ways. Everybody's promoting each other
Yeah.
and
That's what we gotta do.
fighting for a spot, but. Happy to be here. Am I slouching? I can tell it's getting into the show because I'm turning into my troll. See me? Kitties, you like what I'm doing over here? I'm serious. That's my biggest problem with my neck and my shoulder, right? Next time I'm with you, let's talk posture, maybe.
All right.
I'm trying to
You
pin
got to
'em
enter
back.
a pageant, Ron, so you
Right?
get that posture going.
The book on the head, my head's already flat,
There you go.
though.
You can put-
My
like,
head's
that's
already
not too
flat,
heavy.
though.
You
I
can
can
put that on your-
I can literally tip cat, and then the book won't even fall off. It just stay there because I have a very flat, very large head. There could be more than one book even, and maybe a deck of cards, and play cards if you want.
right.
Gin rummy on Harlow's head. Okay. Hi.
All right, guys.
This is your show.
We're gonna no, reel it back in here.
Sorry.
All right, guys. So thank you again for being here. This is the Playful Life, and as always, brought to you by the Playful Journal. It's your 12-week guide to a more playful life. If you're just looking for something to get you started, get you on the path to be more playful, check it out, guys. You can find it on Amazon. You could also get a copy from me. If you want to message me, I can send you one. I can even sign it for you.
Did you sign mine? You don't sign
Well,
mine.
I don't know if I did.
What page
I
did you
guess I
sign
gotta
on?
do that.
I need to do some more signing. I got the other one. No.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
very
you
neat.
do. You have. A
I
couple
have the
copies.
original. I have
That's right, the original.
a 3-ring binder version.
And I've also got a free guide that I'm going to be putting out there. It's 5 ways that you can be more playful today. So be sure to look for that. I'm going to be linking that up where you can go ahead and get that free guide.
Cool.
And there's some fun ways that you can be more playful. So
I love it.
as always,
Great
stay
content.
playful and be healthy and stay healthy. And we'll see you next time.